Good morning. My name is James Reed, and I'd like to introduce you to my book, Old Hige. Just to provide you with a short overview of Old Hige, this book utilizes Jamaican folklore, which is where Old Hige derives from. Within Jamaican folklore, Old Hige is viewed as an evil hag that dabbles in magic, or what Jamaicans would call Obeah, to steal children away in the night, collecting their souls for future spells. Within my story, Old Hige represents Caleb's, my main character's fears of abandonment, solitude, and death. She plagues Caleb's nightmares until he confronts this evil figure, thus gaining an understanding of himself and his fears. In creating this piece, I hope to aid preteens dealing with the loss of a loved one and the fear of death that may develop because of said tragedies. I drew inspiration for Old Hige based on the amalgamation of the loss of both my grandmothers. This is based on the story on both my childhood and teenage years. I recognize that losing someone, especially those that play a vital role in your development, can be a traumatic experience, and I hope this piece can aid anyone battling with this trauma. Now, with no more further introduction needed, I'd like to read to you a short extract of my book, Old Hige. Chapter 5. Even Hags Cry. I didn't think I would see her tonight. I hoped I wouldn't. Her wooden broomstick scraped against my glass window as she glided against it. I heard the bristles as they brushed against the glass. Old Hige could fly through the window whenever she pleased. Something as simple as brick or glass couldn't stop her. But she wanted me to see her, to know that it was her who was coming. My head was buried under the covers. I refused to come out. I knew she was outside. I think I could hear the maggots squirming on her skin. Her broomstick smacked against the glass again. The window began to vibrate. I thought it would smash apart. I didn't want Mom to be mad at me. She'll think I did it. Slowly, I lifted the covers off my head and dragged them down so the top of my head and my eyes were showing. When she saw my eyes, it must have been enough for her to feel as though I had welcomed her into my room. She glided through the glass, slipping through it as though it was water. Her rags were ripped at the ends of her long dress. I'd never noticed that before. All the way her feet looked, they were a greyish brown, maggots wriggling throughout them, except for her toes, where long yellowy green tunnels that looked like claws grew. Old Hige landed opposite my bed, in front of the door, blocking me from leaving. When I saw her this time, it felt different. She never stopped me from running away before, so I stayed in my bed, protected by my covers. At first, I thought, or maybe just hoped, that she wouldn't come any closer, that my bed and the Bible grandma placed next to it would keep her away, but they didn't. Slowly, she dragged her feet across the wooden floor. With every scraping sound, I knew she was that much closer. Before today, I had never looked at Old Hige. Not really, especially not her face. Usually I saw glimpses of her as I ran out of my room, but now I saw her. All of her. Her face was rotten like the rest of her body, but there weren't as many maggots. She looked sad. Her eyes were still but droopy, and they looked like they were going to sag off of her face, so she tilted her head to look up at me. Her mouth was continually twitching and stuck in a moaning look. Kind of what toddlers look like when they're crying. Except Old Hige wasn't. She wasn't crying, but she looked like she was in so much pain. She raised her hand out to me until she wanted me to grab it, but I refused. All I could do was stare at her. I didn't want her to take me. I wouldn't go with her. When I refused, she lowered her hand, still at me with her sad, confused face, her maggots now dripping onto the edge of my bed, making their way up to me. They began to crawl on my skin. I tried to kick them off, but there were so many of them. Their bright yellow flesh wriggled against my brown skin, and when they rubbed against me, I realized we couldn't be more different. The witch opened her mouth. All I could see was one lime green tooth that soon disappeared as a river of her maggots flowed onto my bed. They weren't biting me. They kept trying to be a part of me. I think they were trying to go inside me, to make me like her. Another person filled up with them, a part of them. It's like they wanted a puppet made of me. They struggled to make their way past my legs, slowly onto my chest. I couldn't move. Why can't I run away? Why does she always choose me? I knew this wasn't real. She couldn't be real. But she was there, and she wouldn't go away. No matter how tight I shut my eyes, no matter how hard I prayed, she wouldn't go away. When they made it to my chin, or take his mouth shut, they began to surround my lips. There were so many of them. I began to look like a black strawberry as they pried my mouth open and forced my jaw wide for them all to flow into me. To be in me. To be a part of me. To become me. My jaw began to hurt because of how wide they had forced it open. Tears flowed down my cheeks, but I didn't scream or yell. I couldn't. She wouldn't let me make a sound. All I could do was cry as they made me like her. Her tilted face and second eyes dropped tears upon my sheets. Old Hige, why are you crying? Why are your tears dropping for me? The light to my room flicked on. I felt blinded by the sudden brightness. After I rubbed my eyes, I looked to the door, and Old Hige was gone. Instead, Grandma was standing where Old Hige had been. Before I could say a word, she rushed to my bedside and gave me a tight hug, one that I thought would never end because I didn't want it to. I didn't realize it, but I was still crying, and my bed was wet. My blue sheets left with a dark stain around my legs. This concludes the short segment of James Reed's book, Old Hige. If you have any further inquiries about purchasing the entirety of this piece, please contact me at jcr36@kent.ac.uk.